Hey guys, welcome back to my humble abode of a gym here in my basement. Now, this video is going to be focused on somewhat feet exercises. And the reason I'm putting that in quotations is simply because, as I've said before in other videos, GOATA isn't, about isolating certain things or movements in the body. We want to work our body as a whole, as the whole system that it is. And so these exercises are going to target the feet, and they actually are GOATA exercises I use with clients. But we're also going to be working our entire body. It's not just going to be, something like, oh, sit here and, isolate the feet, right? There's plenty of other exercises like that. If you want to do them, you can go search them on the internet. Okay, but this first exercise is going to be a child rocker. Okay, this is like the most fundamental GOATA exercise, essentially. Okay, so we're going to start with knees and feet on the ground, obviously. I'm going to be two fists width distance apart with my knees, and I want my toes pointing in and my heels pointing away. Okay, just like I've shown in other videos here. Now, let's say that you can't get into this position, right? A lot of people, when they first start out, their heels are either like straight like this or even collapsed inside like this. It's pretty bad. So what we want, okay, is trying to push those heels out and have those toes point in. So if this is if this is as far as you can get, okay, and you're actively pushing out, trying to get that outside ankle bone down to the ground, right? That's okay. Start right here and just focus on pushing down like that. Push out. Try to fight for that position. That's fine. Start there, okay? We want to start where we're at and work from there. Don't force yourself all the way down, right, butt to heels like this if you're not able to in the first place, okay? That's what we're working towards. Okay, now for a child rocker, okay, so we're doing what we can, right, with the feet here. And then all we're going to do is once you get comfortable to put more weight and weight down on those feet and ankles, okay, you'll slowly take some rockers here and you'll just over time work your way down and down and down until you can rock full range of motion here, right, top to bottom, just like that. So some people might be just just a little rock here. You might even use the wall to really have like the least amount of weight on your feet here, and maybe even just hold. I've had clients do that. Just hold this position, push those feet down to the ground, and we're just fighting for this position, okay? And you do, there's no like too many reps basically or sets. Do as many as you want throughout the entire day, okay? It's not gonna do anything unless, you're causing some pain, forcing some pain. We don't want to do that, okay? But that's the first exercise. The second one is called a toe tuck rocker, okay? And it's super similar to the child rockers, the exact same position, except we're going from toes in, heels away to now we actually want to get on our toes here, the balls of our feet. Okay, my toes are still pointing straight. They're about a fist width distance apart here. And the most important thing with this is two things, okay? We want that big toe and second toe to be making contact with the ground, and we want our feet and heels to be in a straight line here, okay? We don't want them pointing out or in. We just want a straight line. And then you're going to rock back and forth. Same thing, 4 reps or time or whatever you're feeling, right? Now, let's say you can't get into that position, right? Well, we'll want to grab something like a yoga block or a pillow, probably something soft that you can put under your knees, okay? Because if we're in this position here and you're having a hard time getting that big toe to the ground, okay, notice how as I lift my knee, more and more of my toes can get on the ground, right? So if I grab something like this yoga block, okay, well, now more of my foot is in the ground here. And then I could easily just rock back and forth like this on those toes. And you're going to feel a great stretch from the Achilles all the way down to your big toe. I honestly love this exercise. And of course, right, hips are back, staying in the back chain, rocking back and forth here. Okay, that's the second exercise. And the third, I guess there's kind of two parts to this third exercise, is simply practicing walking straight. That's going to be one of the biggest things that you can do for your foot health, okay? So there's two ways that we can practice this. One is, okay, I'm just going to walk. This is actually called blade walking. So feet are going to be straight. Okay, we're going to take small steps. And what we're really going to emphasize here is hitting the outside edge blade of our foot. Okay, and you might even go a little pigeon-toed here to if you really want to emphasize it even more. But this is really to help us understand pressure on the outside edge of our foot, which is what we want, right? So we're not going to actually walk on the blades of our feet like this, but that's how you're going to start your step, okay? And then you'll go down, okay? There's one step, right? Okay, blade walk, just like this, walking basically in a straight line. You can even go backwards if you really want to. It's a little harder. And really, same thing. You just do this 4 times. It's just practice. And, it takes a lot of practice if you're trying to really ingrain this into your nervous system so you don't have to think about it eventually, right? And this is actually something I've done in the past to help myself walk with straight feet. I thought about it for like literally a month straight. Walk with straight feet, walk on the outside edge. So this is one way. There's another way or exercise I've been experimenting with here. And I've got one of these little like resistance bands that people usually use on their thigh or knee. And what I'm going to use this for is when we're walking or doing anything GOATA, right? We want to set a bow. And so when we're walking, that's going to be a super subtle, soft bow, meaning, we're kind of soft in the knee and that kneecap is slightly pointing out. That's it. It's not a full on bow like here if we're running, but it's just slightly pointing out. We're not pointing, forward or collapsed inside, right? Now, one thing that I've experimented with is simply, I'll show you guys in a sec, but I'm just kind of spreading the floor here with my feet. So my feet don't move, they stay straight, but I'm pushing the floor, trying to divide it in half, right? Pushing out here. And you'll notice one thing is that helps me keep pressure on the outside edge. But the other thing is my kneecaps point out and I'm activating my glutes and abductors here. Now, the problem is I don't want to have to, actively think about this the whole time as I'm taking steps like this. So that's what this resistance band is for, okay? And you can progress these too. So I'm going to put this on. Hopefully, it's getting all tangled up already. All right. And you can go either like right on your ankles or right above the ankle. This one is just medium resistance. I don't know what that means. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to take a little bit of a wider stance here. But the whole point is, okay, I'm going to walk forward, walk backwards, but I have to keep tension in this resistance band, right? And so you should feel that you're keeping pressure on the outside edge of your foot. I'm not collapsed inside. Hopefully you can see that difference there, right? I'm not just doing this. I'm actively spreading the floor with my feet, pushing those feet out a little bit, okay, without losing contact with my big toe pad, okay? And then you might feel it in your glutes and abductors, and then we're just going to take small straight steps, just like this, right? Maintaining tension in that band. And then you can even go backwards, just like so. Woo! Backwards, for whatever reason, is really I'm feeling that right now. Jeez. I've even got my hips pushed back a little bit too. I'm not thrusted forward in any ways. And just baby steps, right? Literally keeping tension in that band. Go for time. This can be a warm up, a workout, whatever. But remember that it takes time, takes reps, takes practice, okay? Give that one a try. Woo! That's a good one. Okay. Those are just some simple exercises, right, for the feet and our whole body too. We want to incorporate everything. These are not just stretches, right? Even though you're going to feel a good stretch regardless. So give those a try and let me know how they go, and I'll see you guys on the next one.